afternoon. This is Barry Young coming from Eagle Sports Chairs in Snellville, Georgia. We're going to talk about fencing chairs today. We, as a company, Eagle Sports Chairs builds fencing chairs. This is not one of our fencing chairs. This is a retrofit that we did, and we was decided to use this for our demonstration today because to let everyone know you don't have to buy brand new chairs to fence. Now, there's a lot of rules with fencing. You can look them up online. That tells you all the different specifications. It is a little tough to understand them sometimes, but that's what we're here for, to help you understand the equipment. Now, let's start on a few of the things. This pull bar right here, this chair we set up where it can go on the left or the right. Not all chairs can do that. We fixed this chair so that you could change it so that it would probably be somebody's program so that you could switch. Because when you sit in the chair, you hold, that means this would be a right-handed fencer. If the bar was over here, this would be a left-handed fencer. Okay? The thing is, you have to have the side panel on the side opposite of where you're fencing. It has to have a flat section, 20 centimeters. Okay, we cover that. It has to have a maximum of 10 centimeter cushion. Now, people like to have fairly firm so that it keeps them up, because the higher they're sitting, it's similar in a way to field events. If you sit up a little higher, you get to reach a little further. If you reach further, that gives you greater opportunity for your fencing. And I'm not trying to coach you here, I'm trying to explain the logistics of how a field chair works. It's such as with the tires. These tires are airless. And why would you want airless tires? And they're 590 wheels. Because the chair can set at a maximum of 53 centimeters to the rail here. Now, what does that mean in American terms if you're not familiar with millimeters? It's about a quarter of an inch under or eighth of an inch under 21. You know, we use 21 as a standard, but it's actually 53 centimeters, a little bit lower than that. Okay, now this one has, we put the brake on this one side just because it helps certain people getting in and out of chairs. Well, what they do is if you've never seen anyone fence, they strap these tires down and they pull them down pretty tight. Now, we don't have all the equipment that straps it down, but if you have air tires, a lot of times when they pull them down so hard, they'll flatten them, they'll pinch the tubes. So that's the reason when we go with airless tires when we build fencing chairs. We suggest that to everyone. We usually run the M2 click straps for the waist to hold them still. And that you start off with basic height of a 10-inch back. You know. So this is a normal basic chair that we might build something similar to this, not this exact. Okay, one thing that we do when we're building these things is this back, you can loosen these screws and push the arm out a little further so that it gives you a little more out here reach. Well, that's a personal preference thing, and we'll do that just in your coach and your fine tuning and all this. And why, you say, are you talking about fencing chairs today and this COVID-19 society? Well, in fencing, you don't actually, it's not contact. The only thing that you contact with is the sword. So, hopefully, you would be cleaning all the equipment and sanitizing it before you practice some. So what we're doing, we're trying to introduce sports that doesn't get as much popularity maybe as a basketball, as a quad rugby or a racing. These are sports that you can do with very little contact. Now, most of the time, you have organizations that has the equipment. But then on the other thing is you just need to check around in your area and start thinking about this, if this is something that you might want, a sport that you might want to do. Because it's very rewarding, takes a lot of skill, and a lot of training and speed, hand speed. And the thing is these chairs, like I said, this is what we used. We just retrofitted it so that it would make a good chair for a program, club use, whatever organization they were trying to get people started in. That's what we're trying to do with all these segments, is to help you, the consumer, come up with ideas that would help you start in sports. Now, and I'm very familiar with the basketball and all these, and we build equipment for fencing and all these other sports. But the thing is, maybe what we should do is change our norm to branch out to some other sports. That's the reason we're showing you all these. That we do build equipment for all these other sports. Hopefully, you'll get some ideas, and you'll send us in some questions of how much does these cost? How many organizations maybe there are there? We'll get you hooked up. You can Google it. You'll find USA Fencing, Absolute Fencing. These are just a few of the organizations that can help you get started. Maybe in your area, maybe wherever, but fencing is something that requires you and your opponent really to practice. Now, the competition is a lot more in detail and loaded, and as you'll see on your Google search, that it's quite intense, and it's quite amazing, to say the least. These are just a few of the things. One of the things, and just to answer a few questions like, how is the wheels and all, they fit in a tray in competition, so we have to manufacture the wheels as close to the same width as the rear wheels. You very seldom use much camber because you're strapped down. The wheels are strapped down all the time. Everything's held in place by the wheels. So, the adjustment as this bar, I was saying earlier, this just gives you some adjustment to go out, in, change sides on this one. And you have to understand, not all chairs are built reversible. This one, as we were seeing before, was a retrofit. So, when we build chairs, a lot of times they're very competitive, and so we build them specifically left or right. So, you can get them with wheelie bars, excuse me. If you like, a lot of people don't like wheelie bars. So that's a preference too. And I hope this is a little bit of knowledge here that gets you to thinking, well, let me look up fencing online and see what it's about. Is there anybody in this area that might fence or might want to? You may be the one that wants to start a fencing group. I don't know. But that's the idea of these segments, is to improve your knowledge of these things and see what a piece of equipment really looks like. I mean, one of the things that's very tough in this sport is you could have a chair for every sport. That would take a lot of room. I hope you'd have a big building, because we build them specifically. No one chair does more than one sport. Very seldom can a chair do more than one. A few chairs that we build, court chairs, do a little bit more than others. But fencing chairs are very unique to fencing. Nothing else matches up, and that's what we wanted to do. Next week, I think we're going to talk about wheels. Now, when I say wheels, for you to understand this, there is unbelievable amount of different wheels. So we will have them. I will spend about 2 minutes or so on each type of wheel. Then if you have a question or interested in anything, you can contact us, email or call, and we can give you more detail in it. Because all wheels are not created equal. And sometimes people don't understand the value of great wheels. And sometimes it ends up a financial matter to where they can't. So we're going to talk finances, we're going to talk performance, we're going to talk, and these are court wheels. These are not racing wheels, these are court wheels. And I'm sorry I didn't distinguish that, but we're going to discuss court wheels. And on some occasions we may do one of these in the middle of the week or so. I really think that people might be interested in beach equipment. Not because you can go to the beach just about by yourself with a beach shirt. So, that said, I hope you've learned something here about fencing. And if you hadn't, ask the questions. accesseagle@gmail.com. We want to know what you want to. You ask whatever you want, and we'll answer it somehow with this. I'll either do this, or you'll get an email back answering specific questions or whatever. And I hope that you're tuning in to these and liking them, because this is not sponsored by anyone but Eagle Sports Chairs. So anything we talk about wheels or anything else, this is just to help you out, help the customer out. We know it's trying times, and we want to help you out, make decisions, and still get outside and exercise. We want you to be healthy, so when we go back to somewhat normal, you will be in shape to do it. Hope everyone has a great, safe day until next week. Have a great weekend, and we're checking off.